Warren Buffett is not only among the world's wealthiest people, he is also likely the billionaire with the lowest expenses, and he has generally always been this way. He typically pays $3.17 at McDonald's for breakfast. He will select a less expensive choice if the market is weak. He still resides in the same old home that he bought more than 60 years ago for just $31,500. Heck, he even once had a vehicle with the license plate 50 on it. However, at the same time, the company owned by Warren Buffett spent $6.7 million on a private jet in 1989. He invested in a Dale Carnegie speaking course in 1952, which proved to be quite costly in terms of opportunity cost, but we'll get to that in a moment. Buffett also spent 6% of his net worth at the time on a wedding ring in 1952. He even refers to the wedding ring he bought as the best investment he has ever made. In any case, it is obvious that the Oracle of Omaha believes that an investor occasionally needs to be prepared to pay up, even outside of the stock market. Therefore, it begs the question of how thrifty an investor should be. In this video, we'll break up the subject of deferred gratification into 3 distinct lessons. Wall Street Wisdom is here to provide you with the best advice and resources for using stock market investing to achieve financial independence. 1. Why be frugal? Let's start by talking about why being frugal is crucial for investors. According to Warren Buffett, investing is the act of delaying consumption now in order to increase consumption later. Buffett has always believed that every dollar today could become worth $10 tomorrow because he recognized the benefits of compounding early on. That has proven to be a modest assumption in Buffett's case, and when you consider the math involved, costs can add up very quickly. What do you think the price of that Dale Carnegie course, which he purchased at the age of 22, would be today, given the stock market returns that Buffett has experienced over the years? If he had put the cash to work, it would now be worth $291 million. This is not a typo, either. Depending on how you look at it, this represents compound interest at its best or worst. Even though it might be overly optimistic to think that you and I will ever experience returns comparable to those of the Oracle of Omaha. Let's make the assumption that we can achieve financial success on a par with that of young Warren Buffett. So what is the opportunity cost of buying a car in your 20s? We're not even talking about a flashy car here, I'm referring to the cheapest model available right now. At the age of 30, you could have bought a much fancier car if you had invested the money. You could have purchased a whole house at age 40, yes, with cash. And you would have achieved financial independence by the time you turned 50. The first rule of Buffett is never lose money when investing. Never forget the first rule, that is his second rule. Without even making a stock market error, overspending is a surefire way to violate this rule. 2. How practical should you be? Compound interest and its wonders are the main causes of why being somewhat frugal is a good idea. The majority of investors are aware of this, so boasting about having a high savings rate is practically acceptable in our circles. I have always thought that I should spend 2 to 3 cents of every dollar I make and save the rest. But how thrifty ought to be an investor? What constitutes a prudent savings rate? 10% of your earnings? 30%? More? Obviously, this comes down to individual preferences. But allow me to assist you in analyzing your own situation by providing you with a few general guidelines from Warren Buffett. Any money you save before you get married and have children is probably worth $10 in the future just because you can save it. Saving time is limited. Warren Buffett's early start was one of the main factors contributing to his wealth as an investor. He made and saved a ton of money by the time he was just 11 years old, when he purchased his first stock. Although yesterday was probably the best day to begin, today is still a good day, so try not to get discouraged. Second, the importance you place on a particular activity is a matter of personal preference. In the video's introduction, it was revealed that Buffett spent 6% of his net worth in 1952 on a wedding band, calling it the best investment of his life. And you are aware of the numerous wise investments this man has made. Furthermore, Buffett would never advise being defensive or frugal when making purchases that are anticipated to yield a higher return for you in the future. Today, it might be hard to imagine, but Warren Buffett once experienced severe stage fright. He decided to pay up to help him in growing as a person after realizing that this would set him back significantly in his pursuit of riches. I hazard a guess that the $100 he spent on the course ranks high on his list of all-time best investments as well. Thirdly, you could contend that depending on where we are in the market cycle, how frugal you should be changes. And if you discover that everything is absurdly cheap, as it was in 1974, you should invest every last penny in stocks. That is what we have attempted to do. Let's use the stock market's current state as an illustration. The S&P 500's average 3-year earnings yield, or how much the companies in that index earned over the previous 3 years relative to what they currently cost, is 2.9%. That is lower than at any other time in history. For US investors, it was a much more important time to be frugal in 2008 and 2009. Why? Because our earnings from going consumption would have been more than twice what they are now. 3. Keeping a budget? If I may hazard a guess, I believe that 2 factors contribute to Buffett's ability to maintain his frugal lifestyle despite the enormous wealth he currently possesses. His perception of his own self-worth is not derived from a money-consuming activity, and he does not have any pricey hobbies. Reaching financial freedom will be much simpler for you if you can successfully combine those 2 for yourself. I've kind of unintentionally used this in my life as well. The reach of this YouTube channel, the performance of my portfolio, or adding plates to the barbell can all be improved without spending money on stuff. Furthermore, neither powerlifting nor stock market investing require a lot of money to practice as a hobby. $1 today is worth a lot of money to us as investors in a few years. When you are young and making excellent stock market investments, save more. However, some extracurricular activities are too valuable to be done on the cheap. Avoid expensive hobbies and try to find ways to satisfy your ego without flashing expensive items in order to be frugal. Thanks, guys. Like and subscribe to help out the channel and also receive more content like this.